This is like a part two of the other video I was making when I went a little bit in more depth about what I had written here. My son started crying all of a sudden, like something had really hurt him, but he's sitting in his high chair watching his show while eating his food. So I don't know what happened out the blue. He just started crying. I had given him some medicine last night, but we haven't really been around anyone to get a flu or anything like that. Last week, yeah, maybe, I mean the week before last week. But anyways, I'm gonna try to be quick to show how these people are in the government are racketeering, and I'm doing it because it's happening to so many people and nobody's doing anything about it. And how I know that they are all in on it, because the main thing that I keep complaining about is being ignored, and they all ignore it in unison. It's like they all know what's going on, but they're not speaking out on it, or they try to say you're crazy. Some of the people, I believe they don't believe it because they just think I might be making it up or over exaggerating it. So I understand that, but I just wanted to talk about this stuff because it's really important, due to the fact that there's these people who put stuff on our record, who abuse their authority in positions of power and make life hard for you while they're over there doing fraudulent crimes such as like racketeering. They're all involved in like making money, organized crime of making money off of people, like creating fake documents and shit. Like, for instance, Greystar is a realtor company or some type of property management company that has properties all over the U.S. From what I've seen, I went to apply. The people in the background check unit didn't deny me, but the Greystar people denied me for an apartment that I was trying to move into. So me and my son, we might be homeless for just a little bit, but that's okay because we do have the option of staying where I'm staying. But if I stay here, it's gonna make these people think that they can continue to play with me. So I'm leaving to make a statement like I'm not afraid to go back out there and temporarily be homeless because y'all bitches keep playing with me. And if I stay here, it's almost like they be like, ha ha ha, she's scared to go out there, so now we can keep playing with her the way we're playing with her, because everyone's ignoring. And if these bitches, like these motherfuckers at DHS, ain't gonna do a damn thing. You wanna know why I'm saying that? It's because they're the ones who a false CPS investigation is open right now, past the extended, like the time. Nobody's saying anything about shit. And y'all hear that siren out there? They ain't saying shit. They left it open past 60 days on purpose. And I'll get into why. And that's why I'm making this video, because the reason why I got denied on the application for and I'm not mad about the being denied. It's the reasons that they denied. And I also heard the sirens when I called them earlier today, as like a sign that, because I was thinking the thought to my mind, the way everything was going, because at first they was playing like, oh, welcome to the Emory, welcome to this apartment complex, welcome here, and they said set up your account and set this up. They were playing. It's like I could feel it. I was like, how are you guys welcoming me to an apartment complex where you haven't already approved me yet? I fuck those welcoming them, set up your account so you can live here. They wanted, it's like a psychological game. They wanted me to feel a certain way, so when they bring me the bad news, it can let me down and get me in a certain state of mind. But because I already knew what they were trying to do, it didn't work. I'm not afraid to go out there. I'm already was in my mindset saying I'm gonna buy some property in the future and build my own tiny home, or like a mini mansion tiny home on that motherfucker, and stay out there, only have to pay property taxes or something like that, and live as minimal as possible off the grid. I mean, on the grid, like maybe possibly pay to have water come out there if I don't have a well or something, and maybe power if I don't just use generators and stuff like that. I'm thinking of just completely going off the grid so I don't have to be in no contracts with this fucking fictitious corporation of the United States. And some people don't understand that, so don't mind me, or just do some research on your own to figure out what I'm talking about when I talk about the corporation of the United States, not the country itself. 444 when I look down. But anyways, I'm talking about this because, like I said on the other video, that's about 22 minutes long, or 25 minutes, 25, 26, 27 minutes long, something like that. There's a woman who was going through much worse because they not only sent her to jail for 4 years for something she did not do, but they also took her kids. It was a reader. She has 3 different channels, so there's no need of me mentioning her, but 2 of her channels have 333 at the end. When I heard her story a couple days ago, I damn near started crying because I'm like, damn, that's even worse. Because she in a way lost 4 years of her life, but in a way it was protection, but sitting in there for something you didn't do, like that just bothered me so bad, bro. And it didn't even happen to me. But anyways, the government is doing stuff like this. So there's some things on my background that were made up. And it's not like I'm a criminal like that. It's just that I have attempt to elude the police on my record. That happened 3 or 4 years ago now. But I didn't wind up going to court. 555. I just saw the timer. I didn't go to court for it until last year in June when I was working on getting my son back from the first instigated or CPS case, because these police officers, so I made these not cliff notes, but some bullet points to kind of breeze and stay on track. I'll try to be quick as possible. So anyways, I'm just basically showing like the steps when stuff happens that help me know that for sure this was an orchestration of me being put in a psychiatric hospital at Unity, Legacy Emmanuel Hospital, whatever, and then being forced to go through certain classes, to the people at the apartment complex harassing me, and the housing authority lady harassing me, like bullying me, I should say. I'm not saying harass. I'll say what it is, bullying me, and then them telling me I have to basically comply if I want to still maintain receiving TANF benefits, not SNAP, but the TANF benefits. I have to comply with having a family coach that I update with my information and be a part, make sure I'm complying with their little programs that they have for me to attend, because of having a false open CPS case again a year later. Actually, it damn near feels like it was less than a year later that they instigated. And it was due to my therapist. And I'm saying this stuff so everyone can see how they all are. Like, it's not always like this. So don't worry, guys. I'm not saying that this is happening to every single person. I'm saying there's certain people out here. I'm just trying to show how it's connected. Because it's this time by my therapist initiating a false investigation after ignoring me when I was telling him my concerns of I and my son's safety here at the apartment complex. I don't know if y'all hear that horn out there. I don't know if you hear that horn. That's usually confirmation or a sign that what it's saying is true on the spiritual note, on the spiritual level. But anyways, after he initiated a false investigation, after I told him about my safety concerns here, and he ignored it, which means he neglected and did malpractice, all of a sudden, he out the blue, he saw I saw he was ignoring it, so I decided to start looking at the situation differently. And after I start looking at the situation differently, I started to become a lot more happier. I stopped drinking alcohol, and it had only been 2 weeks since I stopped drinking alcohol. Like, I felt like I wasn't dependent on it for, stress or whatever, because I had stopped smoking first, because I was smoking and drinking. I was smoking marijuana, but not like heavy, but still I wanted to get to the point where I wasn't dependent or smoking marijuana at all, period. And I still, by the grace of God, successfully am clean of alcohol and marijuana. So I just wanted to show that. I told him about it to show that I was making progress in life, but it seemed like he was placed there just so that he could keep tabs on me and then report back to whoever else was in his ear. And I already knew he was talking and reporting to somebody else, because all of a sudden at certain times he would say, "We here." I'm like, who the fuck is we, bitch? I'm supposed to be talking to your black ass only, and you over there sharing my information. And I knew he was talking to his supervisor, but I felt like news was traveling, like other people. He said, "We all here care about you here at," it was Kelly DeBruin Counseling in Tigard, Oregon. It pisses me off because I know that they know what they were doing. And then when I kept making it clear to this dude about I was just making sure my phone didn't cut off because I saw a notification pop up. But after I made it clear to him that although I'm still happier and stuff, I was making it clear about these people messing with me and mess with my car and doing all this other stuff. And then he said, well, make a police report. Well, he didn't tell me to make a police report. It was actually my son's speech pathologist that told me to make a paper trail by having a police report, because she was one of the only ones that at least actively listened to what I was saying and tried to come up with a resolution. She was like, no, honey, make a police report or something. It's not their job to tell you that you're crazy. Have a paper trail. Then when I call and make a police report, finally, the motherfucker, Officer Sokolov, bitch ass, starts fucking, like, I apologize for my language, y'all. It just pisses me off, utterly disgusted, because of these people. Just because they have a uniform on, they do this cover-up shit. That's why I don't have respect for a lot of these people. Even the firefighters are a joke to me. Like, if I was in a fire, I would think twice before I even fucking call a firefighter now. It's that bad to these companies that are around here in this county, and also another county where I resided. This is the third time the situation that I had faced with firefighters is not the first time. So that's why I look at some of these organizations as a joke now, because I'm seeing the deeper part of what's going on. Like, I'm glad my son's happy out there. I try to keep him shielded from experiencing energetically as much as possible what we're going through, so he can still be happy as possible. Because when they separated, they took my son from me, he was not himself anymore. It's almost like he had disassociated. The look in his eyes when I saw him, and that was painful to me when I saw that. And I almost wanted to never mind, I won't say that. But I'm going to close this up a little bit so you can hear what I'm saying. And I'll try to speed this up a bit, because the other video was about 27 minutes long. And I want to keep this shorter so that I can get as much information in here as possible. So how I know that these people are orchestrating it is because, like I just was telling you about the therapist making a false claim. I'm going to start at that part first of all. Let's see. After I had successfully got my son back. So let me just say, I'm going to just go breeze through it, and maybe in another video talk more deep about it. I was harassed by the community after I escaped several kidnap attempts while I had my 4 to 6 month old infant son. I slept outside at the motor center for like an hour. At 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, a dude that was following me around found me there, told me I could come and apply at these apartments I currently stay at. 3 to 4 days later, I was approved to be, they just put me in here because I had a domestic violence case already open. And the situation I told them that I was going through, they just threw me in here. But they threw me in right next to the trash room, and at a view that I'm viewing other apartments that are, when they open their windows, they looking dead into my apartment. Instead of me having a nice view in the front or the side where I could see the street and stuff and feel free. It's like everything they were doing was psychological. 13:13 when I looked at the clock. So after that happened, we got the apartment. My 7th floor neighbors were harassing me along with the management who live here, calling me from unknown numbers, asking me if my refrigerator was still working, and then hanging up. And when I call back, it's constantly a busy tone. And then they were leaving notes on my door. They had people sleeping out in front of my apartment door, complaining about me opening the door and touching his bike. But I'm like, whose bike is this? And then his stuff strolled all in the middle of the freaking hallway. He upset. I made videos of it, but they took my phones when this situation happened, when a random woman, when I went outside, called the police and said she called the cops to get me in more trouble than I can get out of, after some black men had took a picture of me to get me to go to the hospital. But I didn't trust them because I had a feeling all of a sudden intuitively when I got in that car, the child lock may have been on and I could not get out, and I had to go wherever they were taking me. And it was 2 black men. They were dressed in business attire. One had a trench coat on. So I knew something was kind of off about that, because the way black men out here in Oregon treat black women, and period, actually, it's not all black men are like that, but I have an intense trust issue with black men out here because of their nasty attitude. Not all of them have been that way. There's a very few of them that have been respectful, but most of them feel like we're beneath the scum of the earth the way they act out here. And plus on YouTube, there's many videos of black men acting like they're men but complaining about how bad a woman is, that they can't take it and stuff like that. So you guys, that's a side note. But anyways, that's why I knew something was wrong, because those black men were trying to help us off the street. But I always got this weird intuitive feeling they were trying to help to kidnap us. When some Mexicans in Hillsboro, Oregon, was following up my son and I around, and they had cell phones, they would watch where we would go, and then I would see them get on their phone, and all of a sudden I'll see all Mexicans out the blue walking by, monitoring us, when it was usually mostly white people or Asians or dark-skinned Dravidians walking around. Eastern Indians walking around. All of a sudden, out the blue, was nothing but Mexicans in the areas where we were at. And then there was this car with Maya 13, Maya 13, following us around repeatedly. And then when I was writing it everywhere that they were trafficking people, like leaving hints and notes, like at the bus stop and stuff, they stopped following me. And then they had other people following me, trying to kidnap me. So it was only Mexican and black men that were trying to kidnap me, but it was mostly black men. After I left a certain area, they had all black men in white cars. All of them had white cars, all of them had white shirts on, and all of them were black, and they all kept asking me, do I need help to get me off the street? Which was weird, because nowadays when I walk out there, these people ain't paying me no attention if they're not trying to gang stalk and follow me. It's like I could literally fall on the ground and blood coming out my mouth if I hit my face. The first person that will come running to help is either a Caucasian woman or a Asian woman or man, out of all the ethnicities out here, because the way black people, they always trying to come against each other out here for some everywhere. But it's like, especially for a man, something is wrong with that. That's how I knew that they were on something, because after those black men took a picture of me, they said, Mama gonna be mad if you don't go to the hospital. I was fine. That's how I knew something was wrong. They took a picture. All of a sudden, that lady came and said she called the cops on me to get me in more trouble than I can get out of. I explained to the cops what was going on. They ignored me. All of a sudden, they said, quick, grab her baby. They tried to take my son, and we wrestled for a good while, y'all. And it was more of them than I was. Let's just put it that way. And finally, when I let go, because the lady act like she wasn't trying to hurt my son, I thought they just wanted to hurt me. So I thought maybe if I let my son go, he won't get hurt, and whatever happens to me, I would have to pray for my son's best interest. They let some smoke come in the car. I think it was marijuana or something, because it was some sort of gas or something. I started coughing. I fake coughed so that they would turn it off. As soon as they heard me cough, then that's when they came and let the window down some. He let it air out, and then he started talking to his son. Now you gonna talk to us? Because I was being too strong at that time, y'all. They ass was having a hard time. Even a police officer tried to hit one of my nurses to make me fall out. He couldn't even do that successfully, lame ass niggas. And they all was white people. So when I'm saying niggas, I ain't saying it like that. I'm just saying, like, the nigger version means ignorant, and they were ignorant as F-U-C-K. So anyways, after they forced me to go to the hospital, and they took me to Legacy Health Emmanuel Hospital, then sent me to Unity. They transported me to Unity by some woman in a black car that has a little side business of transporting patients to and from different hospitals. After that happened, they extended my stay in the Unity Hospital, even though I was showing signs of being stable. They put me on some medications that I didn't freaking need, that also caused me weight gain, and it was causing me to be like lethargic. I couldn't really get nothing done, but I fought through it. And I still went to these group therapy sessions that they sent me to, which was in a totally different city than where I was at. But I chose that one, though, because I knew where it was versus the other one. And I didn't have no phone. DHS gave me a phone because those people stole my phones. Let's see what else. After they extended, and I was forced to go to these classes on Barnes Road and forced to get a therapist so I can comply. Kelly DeBruin Counseling is the therapist firm that accepted me, with an intern therapist, black man, named Chidozie Uram, or something like that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name properly, but I was made to take meds I didn't need, which caused the weight gain. After that, they forced me to do all this stuff. I had limited visits to see my son. They wouldn't let me see my son. On some days, they skipped. They said, my lawyer said it was against the law or something like that for them to let weeks go by where I don't get to visit my son. Then it was like 1 visit a week, then 2 visits a week, and then they extended the hours. I was working at the time too, so I can get a car for this exact moment that I'm going through now, where I might temporarily be homeless for maybe about a week or 2 until I find another place, because they go into people behind the scenes, since they're watching me, to go cancel it and find play games, the same thing that they're doing at jobs, pretend I'm about to get it, and then all of a sudden say, oh, we found another candidate. It didn't used to be that way, guys. That's how I know they're doing this shit on purpose. I used to get a job very quickly and no problem. And then the stuff that the people say after the interview when they call in to check on me or see, like, to let me know if they have any other jobs, the stuff they say, like, involving Target, like, why is Target store involved in this shit? And people that used to follow me around and harass me was letting me know I was a targeted individual by several people in the same vicinity, all walking around, some of them empty Target bags, some of them just got a blanket in it, and some having trash in it, walking around. And they don't just walk with it, most of them had it in their left hand and they would hold it up, so I knew it was something significant to that. It's like a silent psychological harassment they were doing. But anyways, they was, even the job people, the dude Preston at Opti Staffing started talking about Target. I'm like, dude, Target ain't got shit to do with me trying to get a job. Let me go apply at Target then, since y'all want to keep talking about Target. Okay, so anyways, after those limited visits with my son, I had a therapist make a false report. Well, anyways, I lost one of my jobs as a medication technician working at night. Some random new Caucasian woman moved in, like, started working there. Then all of a sudden they said, oh, it's time for us to do fingerprinting again. But mine wasn't even expired yet. They just act like they started to do it on everybody, but it was coming up for expiration soon, but not yet. But because I had an open DHS case to get my son back, get custody of my son back, they said they had to deny my my background check and terminate me unless I could appeal it. And then with the appeal, the lawyer, the judge did some fuck shit in that shit too. And then I didn't wind up getting the DHS case closed until November of 2023. After I got the case closed in November of 2023, April of 2024, this bitch ass nigga had went in, an actual black man who would act like he's so fucking, now this guy is actually a stuck up black man. He think he's better than black women. I could tell from his attitude, and he started getting worse with his narcissistic traits. Like, he was trying to dictate my life and tell me what to do. I made another video talking about the things he did, and I also made an audio recording making keynotes of what he had done for me to know that this false report was more like a retaliatory dictatorship type pride ego move for him. Because I was about to quit and say, you know, I'm finding a different therapist. And then all of a sudden, out the blue, bam, a false report after he ignored my concerns, me telling him I was concerned for our safety here at the apartment complex, telling him about what the people were doing. He made it a joke. He was like, he tried to say that I was psychotic again or some stuff like that. And he made it up, but you didn't have them come and check. I told you I had proof of it, you dumb fuck. And then his punk bitch ass is going to make a false report. And after he make it, all of a sudden, now his internship is complete and he about to leave in the next week or two after we have our next session. He was trying to play it off. And now, in one of the 2 sessions before that happened, he bust out laughing while he was looking at me being happy and explaining something about a book I had gotten. And it's like he bust out hysterically, like he was laughing at an inside joke, like he knew what was coming, making fun of me. And I wanted to know what was funny too. He wouldn't tell me. I was like, why are you laughing? I asked him politely, and he act like it was a problem for me to ask him, like, you can't ask me such things. That's the way his attitude was with me. But he'll come across as a nice guy to other people. It's hard to explain. It's just like the other men that I've dated in the past, where they seem like this nice guy that is honorable in public, but when we get behind closed doors, they bitch ass is a monster. Like, I damn near killed one of them. And he respect me to this day. He do not even try to fight. I seen him again, and he's 6'4" with big ass hands. He used to punch on me and everything. Boy, I had enough of that. I told that blood was coming down his shirt. He ain't touched me no more after that. Even he saw me last year. He had the utmost respect. He didn't. When it got to a point he might have felt frustrated, he didn't even go that route, because he already know I'm with the shits. I don't care how big you are. But anyways, because I got tired of it. I used to be like a wimp, but I had enough. All this stuff that's been going on, I will fight back, even if I get tore up. So anyways, y'all, after he made that false report, the same caseworker at Alberta Welfare Office, Christina Shannon, called me. She texted me, actually, talking about, so I tried to call you, but it didn't work or something. But she texted me. She was like, we just want to do a checkup. And I was like, a checkup? If y'all just trying to do a random checkup, something didn't feel right. And then that's when I found out it was a whole freaking, he made a false investigation. So I called my same lawyer from Metropolitan Public Defender's Office, Parent-Child Advocacy Department. And then that's when I told her what happened. They said it will be 60 days that this investigation is in effect, but they went silent. They started ignoring me. We was in 90 days. I'm like, okay, so because they know, my lawyer knew that I was planning on making I might sue him, and I feel like they were trying to protect him, because they knew I was gonna sue him in the firm that he was at, because they made a false report after neglecting to check on my safety concerns. But then he made a joke of it and said that I was just paranoid. And the police officer Sokolov, when I made a police report like my speech pathologist told me to do, he also made a joke. He started laughing. He said maybe you're just paranoid because it's hard to fathom that somebody's hacking my phone. And he was like, why didn't you call after something happened? And then when I explained it to him, he started trying to still say it's a joke. And then he tried to play with me and barely give me the actual badge number. You could tell he was a childish little punk. But I was like, who gave him a badge? I'm almost thinking that it wasn't even a fucking real officer. And then he called from an unknown number. Like, it's total bullshit. That's why I don't respect. I have no ounce of respect for these officers out here. And it just, I don't know what to say. They're peasants in uniforms. I mean, I'm sure not every single last one of them are, but majority of them, they don't even look at me when they ride by no more, because they know I know what they're doing. And side note, I saw spiritually what they were doing out in another part of Oregon. I'll talk about that on another video. They were hiding something in the ground, but in some little black encase, I saw a vision of it. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. So they all ignored me in unison. But they told me that I have to get involved with SEI, which is Self Enhancement Inc., or PCC. PCC said I was going to do some school class for free. All of a sudden, they sent me a bill for $80-something. That's what I said I wanted to quit. Then the people got mad at me. I said I don't want no parts of it. So they said I could be part of SEI, because that's another company that DHS is tied in with, which they're also tied in to Home Forward. And we'll get to that in a moment. Why I say that. Next thing you know, this video is 27:37. I apologize, y'all. I just have a lot to say. PCC. So I had to be involved with those community programs to maintain benefits with TANF, and to show that I'm trying to do something in my life other than just get benefits. And this was all of a sudden about that, but he said the reason why that it happened all of a sudden is because during COVID, this wasn't a requirement. But they didn't tell me shit about it, though. They didn't update me or nothing. Even my previous coach, Catalina Torres, I think her name is, from the DHS office in Washington County of Oregon, that bitch wasn't barely helpful at all. She had an attitude, and I found out something about her why she might not have been helpful. I think she knew somebody that I knew outside of her job, and they both were Mexican. And you know how some of these Mexican hoes are. And I love Mexican women. I should say I don't have anything against Mexican women, but the ones that be trying to play that jealous / racist shit, y'all motherfuckers is lame for that. Because this bitch probably mad because I put on the paperwork I was having something to do with a Hispanic man. He know a lot of people too. Boy, that man can run his mouth. Everybody know everybody business, and they don't even know each other because of that man. Let's just put it that way. That's why I stopped dealing with him. But anyways, I got involved with SEI, and then I graduated a parenting class from SEI, and then I went to Level Up Thrive In. That woman helps you get jobs and help you get more information to work at. I graduated that as well, but she sent me, they have to do some coaching. I can tell she's been listening. She's compromised as well, because something I told her, she ignored it completely and still recommended I do something that I told her I cannot do because of this false investigation that's open. And she proceeded to do it anyways. And then when I got a little bit more assertive and firm with her about she's showing signs, the same signs of those other companies that ignored me and told me to do something I told them wasn't that was unfit or something like that, that wasn't going to work for me, that they did the same thing, and then they ignored me, and she did the same thing, and then she brushed it off. She even hung up the phone during our coaching session to pretend she don't know what happened, and then emailed me and then dismissed me after that. So that's how I know. And she is partnered with SEI. I'm not saying these people are bad. Like, she seemed like a sweetheart. I actually liked her, but not like that, but I liked her as a person. But then she showed signs. I guess that money talk, yeah, I don't know what, it's either something spiritual or financial that got these people acting like they're in cahoots and being bribed. So, or both. And then, anyways, them making this case go a long time, past 60 days, is preventing me from doing the job that I have experience in, which is the medical field. And because certain jobs in the medical field, they deny you if you have DHS, because it shows like it's saying something about temporary, like you might be under suspicion. They suspect child neglect or abuse or something like that. And when you have those type of cases open, it prevents you from being employed. At the one job, I got lucky and they didn't care. I explained to the administrator what was going on, why they opened the case, and he had George Clark at the Marquise Piedmont. He had an open heart. He let me win. I mean, he let me pretty much. He let me work there anyways, because he said, you know what, we feel like you'll be a great fit. And I was. The people loved me there. I gave them their medications at the times that they were due, and sometimes earlier, instead of watching them suffer like other people did because they were lazy. And they said they love me, but because the residents was loving me and making good reports about me, these new bitches moved in, Emily Tagala, whatever her name is, and Cara. They had these other ladies. Those nice, nasty people that they bully you with being like this fake kindness to you. It's disgusting. That's how these bitches was being. And I knew they was playing the whole time, but I'm like, all right, just let the time go by. Shit come back to bite y'all. And then also the maintenance man that worked there, he lied on somebody to get them fired, and that was not right. She lost her job because a man lied, because she had a blanket on her because she was cold. He said she was asleep, but she was dead the fuck woke. And then they wrote a report saying that we allowed her to be asleep, so we getting in trouble too. She was woke watching the freaking movie, bro. And it was a white man, so they feel like he was being racist. They said that Marquis Piedmont was racist anyways, and they was trying to get rid of all the black people. I didn't believe them at first because people always talk about racism stuff. It may have gone deeper than that, but that's what happened. And I lost my job there because of those ladies forcing another background check all of a sudden, and saying I have to get fingerprints while I still had that open DHS case. And when those new ladies was there, they terminated me because of that. They said, oh no, we love you here, and if you can appeal this background check, we'll love to rehire you. Bitch, you knew I wasn't going to get rehired because y'all motherfuckers like bribed the motherfucking judge, because that's why he took longer than the time he told me. They always gave signs of being compromised by the timing was everything. The timing itself spoke volumes. That's in combination with their silence in unison, like I told them. So anyways, my therapist saw that I was happier and trying to break free, and I was not drinking and smoking anymore, so he tried to create more blockages by making this false investigation, which forced me to have to be back involved with these community programs that all are in cahoots with each other. And one thing I wanted to talk about is my housing coordinator at Home Forward, which is a company that funds, that donates and funds SEI. One of the donators to SEI. That's why SEI people have been ignoring me. The only person who helped me out was a woman named Corderica Hale Jones, who actually fought to get us an advocate, but even the advocate showed signs of being, she even confessed a few days ago that she was dragging her feet. I found out, I was like, why did she just tell me the truth straight up like that? I even told her no at first, because I was like, no. Because I thought the story she told me at first, it was like this stuff was it was out of her control. But then out the blue, she just said, no, it's because of me. I was dragging my feet and blah, 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 whatever else she said. And I was like, damn. Then I found out it was a spirit in her that made her just confess and tell the truth like that. That's what be happening. Like sometimes people just tell the straight up truth to me. I'll be like, damn, they told me. But yeah, so that's my Leah Lochting from Home 4 is a woman that has been harassing me. She's been bullying me, and she would ignore me. And I even reached out and put an email to all of these different companies that are in cahoots together, telling them about, I sent them a freaking video. That's something I made a note of. I sent them a video about how I was being harassed, and because they weren't listening to the words. So I put a link to a video and told them it's a link from a YouTube video. And they should know, like, and even the video, since I thought some of them might not click the link, being afraid I'm trying to hack their system just to make that as an excuse, I wrote the words out and tried to make it as brief as possible about what was on the video. Nobody at any of these companies said anything back to me at all. That's how I knew for sure they were all in cahoots. SCI ignored me, but then they said, oh, do you need some diapers and shit like that? Yeah, they'll give you that type of stuff, but they don't give you the other shit. So I'm gonna make another video kind of being more brief than this video, 3535, as well as talk about how I know MPD law is involved because they ignored the threats of my baby dad, that when he was harassing me, and talk about he gonna have somebody in this apartment complex that he knew come and beat my ass. And after he made that threat is when it picked up more, with more people stalking and harassing me, like literally leaving the apartments when I leave and coming back home when I come back home after going to the exact store that I went to. And I would even change the store. I would go to a different Safeway. I would see they ass at that Safeway, and when I come home 2 hours later, they just getting home. I was like, no, that's not just a coincidence. The pattern of behavior, how many times it's happened. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks, guys, and I apologize I went over time. I'll try to make it shorter on the next video and be more brief.